silver trading at yet another all-time high? I'm getting loads of questions, I assume, based on some of the videos I've been sending. I've sent multiple videos on silver. One of the most successful ones on social media in terms of how many people saw it was, of course, flagging the Bloomberg Commodity Index rebalance, which was $3.8 billion worth of silver futures for sale. Now, the thing that I find quite frustrating and quite difficult, and I suppose that's part of the game, is the communication. If you actually listen to what I'm saying, in particular the video I did most recently about what Goldman is saying, you would understand two things. Number one is the futures being for sale. First of all, if you look at when I first sent that video, which was the 5th, and I said that it was the selling was starting on the 8th, you would notice that we've had huge amounts of volatility. It got to 84, back down to 71, back up to 82, back down to 72, now back up to 86. Okay, huge amounts of volatility because, of course, we all know that there is a supply shortage, but that supply shortage has been dramatized and exaggerated by where the main bulks of silver are being kept. The United States bought a huge amount of silver and put it in their vaults prior to the tariffs going in place, and there was a shortage, and there still remains a shortage from the London Metal Exchange, which of course is the #1 metal exchange in the world. So yes, there's a supply shortage. No, it's not as dramatic as one would as what's being implied, particularly in the retail universe, by the demand coming from EVs and solar panels and Samsung batteries and all this stuff. That is part of the equation, but the point that I've been trying to make is that the short-term imbalance of where the big bulks of silver are being kept are causing huge amounts of misunderstanding in the market and ultimately upside. The futures selling, as I made clear during all 3 videos, was something to consider, and as you've seen volatility, but there's been buyers to come in and pick it up. At no point did I say that you should be shorting silver or that this was an easy trade or a straightforward outcome. I simply was explaining to you that there's going to be huge amounts of drawdowns and rallies and volatility and uncertainty in this market as a result of the short-term mismatch of supply and demand, mainly because of where it's being stored. Citigroup came out this morning, just to add to the final piece of this puzzle. The big boys have had their chance to speak. Goldman, I told you about that last week. Citigroup this morning came out and put in place a bull case for them, which is like the most upside case for them. 5,000 for gold, which seems to be the magic number. Many people have already got that, and 100 for silver. Now that's the max bull case. Now we might get there tomorrow afternoon, who knows? But the point being is that no one really has a clue about what's really going on, apart from the fact that we all can agree that there's a supply shortage. When and how and where that additional storage problem sorts itself out is an open question, but the volatility and the high risk nature of this trade will continue. That is it. I've been sharing information and intelligence from my professional side of the equation all along, and that is the end of the story.